after spending some time today looking at different teams, and I will share with the district, I'll push that out, is there was a presentation done that mimics the old Apple PC commercial that is a Chrome versus Microsoft commercial that talk that was given here, and I'll share it with you as well as the district. Some of the teachers tried to get to it, weren't able to.
I know it's kind of given, but that $22,000 number ends up being more for the study just because of labor costs. So I'd be interested, just in my own mind, I add on some more money, just the whole setting up, purchasing, training, the labor cost in that. So the study ends up costing more.
Wow.
And since there is extra software programs that will have to be downloaded, I would like to suggest the idea of breaking up this study into different phases, and possibly the first phase just being to buy a couple of the Chromebooks and leaving it with IT to run the software programs and see if they do work and if they are compatible and if there would be extra added costs. And then if it does pass that, then we can spend the $22,000 plus to pilot it in all the other, in the classrooms. And then another concern I kind of have is the IT's time, since we've just approved for the Dell laptops and all the training they're going to have to do for that, and then we added on the printers and the scanner tags they'll have to do, and then on top of that doing all of these Chromebooks. I feel like it might be an overload for them. It's a lot to put all that on them all at once. And for that reason almost alone, I kind of want to step back a little bit from it. It also looks like with that Google training for just 3 teachers, I mean, that price adds up, and I'm not sure
Well,
if we'll actually be saving money if we went with Chromebook, just by looking at these numbers.
1,200 of that 3,500 was really for the suites. I mean, it's
The software.
it's software included in that. I follow what you were saying about maybe just buying a couple of the machines and having IT look at that. I do share with you though that timetable of prepping some teachers to be able to do that, that would not work unless you're looking at next summer, for the next year, because we're running out of time to really be prepared for a teacher. I mean, right now it's tight to find the teachers to really either volunteer or be selected to do this.
Is that something Scott and his group can maybe reach out to Fort Hays and that beforehand, and possibly even some of the teachers where we're looking at these, just to get a ballpark idea on some of the software stuff? I don't doubt, I'm sure most things will be able to work just fine, just due to the fact that everything is becoming web-based. But just in case there is a one-off or something like that, is that something where they can possibly at least try reaching out?
Well, but on Sophia's point though, I mean, I think they can, but I think one of the other questions though is if you drop that down to a couple, do you really get the real test of its effective use? If you have 2, you're not going to get a true classroom environment, where if you have the 30, you get the true environment. And I did want to thank any teachers that have volunteered. I know that it's extra work for them to get up to speed, but the other thing to keep in mind though, the Google Classroom stuff is usable on the new devices we just bought at the high school. And my understanding of just that suite is, or the Google Classroom stuff is pretty valuable, at least from the people I've talked to that use it. Teachers, not regular people, but teachers.
And again, I agree with you. The Google Suite is, I mean, it has its advantages that are actually very good. But I would say that for someone who doesn't know them, and they know the Microsoft Suite, they're not going to probably view it as so valuable that they've got to make a transition from what they know to something they don't know. And that's where I'm still saying that our time frame is one where, our thoughts and discussions now, and then for the next week until Monday, I'm still pushing that we really need a vote on next Monday.
Very good. Any other discussion or questions? Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is the student handbook revisions.
We have to approve, or I guess we don't need to approve it. Never mind.
No, these are just recommended changes.
We'd approve them next week.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything
That-
incredibly significant? Or
Not
just
that I saw.
standard changes,
Okay.
updates?
Very
My
good.
name's spelled wrong on one of them. I'll send an email. Which one's the name?
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the transfer to contingency reserve fund, and I think that was the one Tracy said, was it 300,000, is that correct?
Right, yes, we're asking you to approve transferring 300,000 from general fund to contingency reserve to hold it for unforeseen circumstances in the future.
On Tuesday? Or on next Monday?
Today, please,
Today.
if you would, so that way we can get it this fiscal year and
Okay.
taken care of.
I
Those are
would
books.
like to remind everybody, we planned on this.
Yes.
Remember, I mean, a year ago, we were planning this, of having $300,000 more to put in. And it's as she stated in her writing, I'm going to state it verbally so everybody hears it and public as well. We are still at just 600 and some thousand. And people say, well, that's a lot of money. Our payroll is 2.4 a month, 2.4 million. They recommend 2 months. So we're a fifth. With this happening, we're still a fifth of what would be recommended. So I'm very pleased that we calculated, because it could have been less. It very easily could have been 200 or 100,000 that we feel, but we were working to make it 300,000 this year.
I move to transfer 300,000 from the general fund to the contingency reserve fund.
Second.
Been moved by Board Member Fox and seconded by Board Member Schwartz. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Next item, discussion by board members and agenda requests. Anyone?
Bill, when does the, not that, I mean, Lance can have this job as long as he wants.
I think it's next
I'm not
month.
asking for, but when does we have to change from Lance's term as done as president? The July meeting. The only reason I bring it up is I will not be at the second July meeting. I will only be at the first one, and I'm not conferencing in like Paul.
That's set by statute. It's first meeting in July.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're saying we can vote you in on the second meeting?
You can vote me out too.
Very good. Any other discussion or agenda requests? Okay. And I think, John, we do need a short exec session, is that right?
We do, yes.
Okay, so I will move the Board of Education recess into executive session along with the board attorney, the assistant superintendent, and the director of finance to discuss matters relating to employer-employee negotiations, whether or not in consultation with the representative or representatives of the public body or agency, KSA 754319B3, with the open session to resume in this room at, what do you think?
15 minutes?
So let's say at 9:10.
9:10.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Does someone want to take Paul with you?
Upstairs.